voice of generations. It's the Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. So before we get to this viral Cinnabon clip, which is, a classic case of, bad white woman, innocent immigrant couple, we are still continuing the debate. Blake, you think that TV is less important than it's ever been. I agree with you on that because entertainment is more diffused. Everything is more diffused and fractured, but it's still important.
There's more things it competes with: video games, YouTube, live streamers. Take your pick. But on top of that, the most interesting thing with streaming services is it's reduced the importance of anything new existing. So what's the biggest value out of, say, subscribing to Disney Plus? It's that you can watch every Disney movie ever made. You can watch every Disney TV show ever made. And I think you'll see that. What's the biggest reason Netflix wants to acquire HBO? It's probably a huge library that HBO and Warner Brothers have. And I think that reduces the importance of new shows. Everything that's ever made has to compete with The Sopranos. Everything that's ever made has to compete with The Simpsons. Everything that's ever made has to compete with I Love Lucy, Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz. Everything that's ever been made, it all is still out there. A lot of it remains popular. I remember at its peak, Netflix, the most common show to watch on Netflix, well after it went off the air, was The Office. I think at its peak, about 1% of all internet traffic in America was people watching The Office. And I think that Jack is correct to say it dictates a lot of what our culture is talking about and thinking about, but it also dictates less and less by the year, which I think we should be grateful for, because you don't want everything people think about funneled through a tiny number of choke points controlled by people who are completely insane.
Well, like I actually, real quick, I just completely agree with you, because like, when's the last time a movie became a classic? You know what I mean?
Let's keep talking about this when we welcome back
because
radio.
Think about that. It's just whatever's new. There's no classics anymore.
Yeah. Well, by the way, the MASH finale, 106 million people tuned in for that. We don't have that kind of stuff anymore. We'll be right back. National Radio, more Jack Posobiec. All right, welcome back to Charlie Kirk Show. Yeah, did you guys, this is the most famous one, obviously. February 28th, 1983, the finale of MASH drew 106 million viewers, becoming the most watched single episode in U.S. television history for decades, with a 77% share of the audience. It was like a third of the U.S. population, apparently. Anyway, so this is pretty incredible. We don't have these cultural touch points anymore in the same way, Jack. But it doesn't mean that these, Stranger Things isn't still massive, right? It's still a huge show. But those kind of moments where, like, Friends finale, the Seinfeld finale, we don't have as many of those. I think the last kind of big cultural moment was probably Game of Thrones. That's what I would say.
Breaking Bad finale.
Breaking Bad was big.
Was pretty big.
But even those, those mattered a lot to sort of, I guess, the
niche
elite TV watching public. But they were both one was on a cable channel, one was on a subscription special cable channel. So a lot of people watched those, but at the same time, not anywhere near the number who watched Friends, Seinfeld, MASH, as you said. And the other thing we were talking about, there's a lack of new classics, lack of new classic films, but also a big flattening of what genres actually take off. So you used to go check the top 10 grossing films in 1999, and you'll see rom-coms, you'll see suspense films. Now the top grossing films are pretty much exclusively big blockbuster franchise films, your superhero films, your Harry Potter movies, that sort of thing. When was the last time a film comedy was a huge deal that everyone in America saw? The Hangover? The Hangover came out 15 years ago. People who were born after The Hangover came out will be able to vote soon. And that's another aspect of the way these pop culture phenomena, they still matter, as Jack says, but I think they mercifully do matter less.
All right.
So I agree, but certainly I mean, that's this is really good fodder for a thought crime topic, actually. Yeah. But I mean, either way, right? You know, Netflix and Paramount and Warner Brothers all matter. But to your point, yes, I do think that because the biggest competition, right, that all of these things have, that scripted, prepared, formatted, whatever word you want to use for it, the content has is actually social media. So the idea that because a YouTuber is just going to make it for free and throw it up on YouTube. So YouTube is a competitor. But I would argue that Netflix is fundamentally different, and all of those streamers are a fundamentally different thing than YouTube, because YouTube is a user-created service. Rumble, of course, which is so much better, is a user-created service. And so the idea, or like shows like this. So the idea that, you know, we're some, like, we don't have corporate backing, we don't have some like massive, you know, international, multinational conglomerate behind all of us. I know that's what the internet says, but we actually don't.
Sovereign wealth funds.
yeah, exactly, right. And so it's so much cheaper. The ROI is so much higher then, because of that, we're able to do more. We're able to be more nimble, and it's new media, right? It's basically sort of like an extension of the new media, old media fight.
All right, hold on. I gotta get to it because I promised the audience. I gotta play the Cinnabon viral clip here, real quick.
Again,
141. 141.
I am racist.
So idiot, for
And
real.
you are an
You are an idiot. No,
I
I'm
am
not.
racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, you're talking about
Bye.
you're talking about respect? You're talking about respect? You are fired from this place, man. You're not gonna be working here.
Suck it.
Suck what? Look how you look
It.
like.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, you ugly Get the out of my
Ugly?
face.
Talking about ugliness?
Did I stutter?
You
All right. So this was obviously meant to make bad white woman, innocent Somali couple. But the bigger issue, Jack, and we only have a minute left, I wish we could have more time, is that these confrontations are happening more and more and more. And we're inviting these cultures and having these collisions. Is it the woman's fault? Obviously, I wouldn't recommend acting like that. But what's really going on here?
What's really going on is that TikTok has created an inverted incentive structure for bad behavior, and quote unquote, we're going to catch people and cancel them. But the way that people are fighting back against this new cancel culture, I mean, this is like some, you know, minimum wage employee at a mall. And obviously, and you can see the video before, we've seen this cycle a million times. They're clearly being harassed, and she harassed her to get content out of it. That's why they were filming in the first place. And so if you look at GiveSendGo, last I checked, it's about to cross $100,000 for this woman, because people are saying, look, regardless of whether we say we agree with what she did, this is how you stop cancel culture, and this is how you reverse the incentive structure. Just stop harassing people at work. It's really that simple. Don't harass customers, but don't harass employees either, just because you're trying to get TikTok clout. And how many times have we seen people try to do that for TikTok clout over and over and over?
Jack Posobiec, Human Events Daily. Your show's coming up in about an hour. We'll see you then. Thanks so much, Jack.
See that, man.
Hour 2 coming up next.